I wasn't really sure exactly like what outlet to share it. I didn't know if I like wanted to write a book, do a podcast, and a podcast really felt authentic to get my message out. So here I am, and I couldn't be more excited. About 7 years ago, I went through some really crazy heartbreak. I went through my 20s and my early 30s and really struggled. I felt like I lost my entire identity and I had to learn how to rebuild myself. This was definitely a process. And so if you are in a place right now where you feel a lot of darkness and you feel a little bit lost, I want you to know that you're not alone and you are exactly where you should be. Hi guys, welcome back to the House of Her podcast. Today we are doing episode 4, which I am so excited for. And today we're really focusing in on this, like building your spiritual vessel. Last week we talked a little bit about building your emotional vessel. And for those of you that are just like listening, or maybe today this is your first episode that you're listening to, I just wanted to do a little recap about the House of Her, how it was created, and our like 4 rooms and our 4-room method. So I created the House of Her it's based off of all my life experience, all the books I've read, the healing I've gone through, the countless podcasts, and then also just like heartbreak, moving, all the things that we experience in like our 20s and our early 30s. And so I'm going to take you back to like room number 1. So room number 1 is the decision-making room. And this is the room where you kind of feel like you're at crossroads and you don't know if you should go left or you should turn right. And you kind of feel completely like disoriented. Maybe you feel, the best analogy that I like to use is like your head just feels like it's spinning and you feel so disconnected from your body. Maybe you're in a point of like transition with relationship, with career, and you just like need to make a decision. So this is our decision-making room. Then after our decision-making room, we go to room number 2. And this is what I think actually is like the most important room that we have. This is called building your vessels. And when you build your vessels, this is you building yourself spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, and physically. And I think that a lot of us, no matter where we are in life, I think this is like the room that we have to come back to a lot. I actually think of a lot of my friends who recently have like had babies, or maybe they're on baby 2 or baby 3, and they are in a place where they're wanting to like return to themselves and build themselves in all these areas. Maybe you're in a place like with heartbreak and you're like wanting to call in your soulmate or your dream job. And maybe one of these vessels or one of these buckets is continuing to just like leak. And so through this process and through this podcast, I literally walk you through and I show you how to build each one of your vessels so you can hold all the things that you want in your life. And then jumping to room number 3, this is manifesting. This is your manifesting room. And I believe that in order to manifest and in order to bring in all the things that you really want in your life, all of your dreams, all of your desires, that you need to build yourself first. So you have to build your vessels and then you can call in all the things that you want in your life. And so there's like a very strategic process, I think, to manifesting. And in our manifesting room, I walk you through and I teach you how you can use audio and affirmations to manifest. I show you how you can use writing as a tool to manifest what you want. And then our next room is room number 4. And I actually think for me personally, has been the hardest. This is the surrender room. So this is the room where you have to hold all of your dreams, all of your desires, everything that you want in your life. You have to hold it really strong, like hold it up here, but then you have to let go of how, when everything happens. And I kind of walk you through this process, and I show you and I teach you how to surrender. And a huge part of this room is actually like living in flow state, being appreciative for like all the things that you do have, and living in the present moment, living in joy. These are all really important things when you're in the surrender room, right before like all the things come in for you. So anyways, that's just a little recap if you're just joining us. Today, I'm focusing actually on building your spiritual vessel. And I want to talk, today is more about like philosophy. When I was in a really, really rough spot, I needed something to hold on to that was bigger than myself. I needed a concept or a philosophy that made sense, that allowed me to have more of like a bird's eye perspective where I'm like up here and I'm able to kind of see everything from afar and not feel like such a victim and like this concept of like life is happening to me, like victim mentality, which I'm going to get into a little bit more. So I've read many books. I study Kabbalah. I've listened to countless podcasts. I've worked with healers, and this concept has come up like over and over again, and it's really, really helped me. So actually, one of the books, Many Masters, Many Minds, one of the podcasts that I love to listen to is Almost 30. They talk about this. And then also Jessica Stone, a healer that I've worked with for years. She actually, I think, was the first one that kind of brought this to my attention. And Kabbalah reinforces this. So just so you have some context into where I got this information from. So this idea is that we're all these souls that are kind of like floating. Think of yourself as just like a soul apart from your body. And we're kind of like floating above the universe. And before we choose to have a human experience and before we choose to come down to earth, we choose our parents, we choose our siblings, we choose our friends, we choose every single thing that happens to us, the good, the bad, every interaction that we encounter in life, the heartbreak, everything, we choose that. And part of the human experience when we come into the world and we're born, we actually forget everything that we chose for ourselves and for our lives. And this combined with a concept of in Kabbalah, where they talk about the different levels of the soul. So in Kabbalah, they talk about there's like 3 different levels of the soul. Level number 1, this is like the lowest level. This is where you have that like victim mentality of like, oh my gosh, like everything sucks. Like you're so in it. Like you're like, I just went through a breakup, or like I just lost my job. And it's like this mentality of life is happening to me. Like life is so hard. I'm struggling. This sucks. And like we've all been there. We've all had moments of like feeling like a victim. So this is the absolute lowest level that the soul can have. And then level number 2 is life is actually happening for me. So this concept of maybe I lost this job because there's something better out there for me. Maybe I'm going through this heartbreak and like this really freaking sucks, but maybe I'm one step closer to meeting the right person. Maybe every single no is one step closer to my yes, right? So it's this concept of actually all these things in my life are happening for me, so that I can learn, so that I can grow. And this makes me also just think of every challenge in my life since I was younger. Even if it was hard, even if I felt loss, if I felt pain, no matter what I've experienced, that darkness has always helped to bring in more light. And it's always helped me to gain empathy, gain understanding into someone else's life. It's allowed me sometimes when we have so much pain, right? And so much darkness, it creates this space. And then when we do have joy in our life and we do have happiness, there's even more space to receive that. So our level of depth in emotions and the joy in life is even greater. And so this is that secondary soul level of life is happening for me. I use this actually a lot with my friends who are going through breakups. I tell them, I'm like, okay, let's switch your mindset. Yes, I understand you're heartbroken. Yes, that date also didn't work out, or that relationship didn't work out, or I know you called that engagement off, but maybe this is happening for your highest good. So that's soul level 2. And then we have soul level 3. And this is the concept of life is actually happening through me. So think of like the universe or God or whatever you believe. And all of that light, unlimited amounts of light, are now able to shine through you and inspire, empower like everyone else around you. And when you're able to live in this beautiful flow state and like just like all the things in your life are like happening, you're like, oh, like you're just, like actually I've shared about this in the past, but like I decided to move to LA and I was in this flow state. Things just started happening for me. And I felt like life was kind of starting to like shine through me. So these are the 3 levels of the soul. And I think that we can also experience these 3 levels even in an hour. Like I've had many moments where I've experienced, I'm like, oh, victim mentality, like this, like, ugh, this stinks. Like I'm having the worst day, or I'm having like, I've hit rock bottom again, like, ugh. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second, how can I change this? Like, how can I transform my victim mentality into, wait a second, maybe this is actually good. Like maybe this is actually happening for me, right? Like how can I change that? And so this can even happen within an hour, right? Like we're human. So this is really, really helped me. So I want you to ask yourself this question of like, if you are in a state right now where you are, in victim mentality, how can you elevate your soul to level 2 or elevate your soul to like level 3? I just want you to ask yourself that question. And this helps me. I use this all the time. And then the last concept that I wanted to talk to you about is something called your tikkun. And this kind of goes back to what I was discussing before with like how we're all like souls and we choose everything in our life, every experience, every moment. And the purpose of us like living a human experience, the whole reason why we're here is this concept called tikkun, which means like your soul's correction. So all of us, every single person, I don't care who you are, we all come to this world with things that are heavy and that we need to fix, like our soul's correction. Maybe this is a theme of abandonment in your life. Maybe this is feeling unlovable. Maybe this is feeling like lack in terms of like finances. So they're the things in our life that show up over and over and over again. Sometimes these are like our hardest lessons and our most challenging moments. And you continue to see this theme in your life. And the whole point of living our life is so that we can become conscious and that we can see like whatever this like soul correction is, we can become aware, recognize it, and change it. And so for the next generation that we bring into this world, that they're able to live a happier, like better, more evolved life. And so when I look at my challenges in life and I think about like the whole point of being here and the whole point of my existence is that I get to learn, that I get to grow, I get to transform, it kind of takes the pressure off of things. Like we're all just here having our own human experiences. And that really helped me. I also just wanted to shine light on something. Like I know that sometimes when we're in something, whether it's, breakup, a transition where you're becoming a mom, whether it's like, maybe transition with like a job, or maybe you just moved, that sometimes when we're in the thickness of something, we're not able to see the other side. But this is the moment where you need to trust and you need to have hope that it's all gonna work out for you. And even using me as an example, I remember like 2 years ago, I just got out of my engagement, broke it off, and I was really, really upset. I was, I was young, but in my head, I'm thinking I'm in my early 30s. Like I want to get married. I want to have a family. I want to have kids. And I just felt so lost. And I'm a big believer in like quantum physics and the way that time can collapse. And in those hard moments when I felt victim mentality, I look now at where I am today, 2 years later, And I never would, if somebody would have come to me and said, Leah, you're going to move to LA, you're going to quit your job, you are going to fall in love again, you're going to launch a podcast, and you're going to have amazing new incredible friends and a whole incredible like new network in LA, I literally would look at you and be like, what? Like, you're crazy. Because at the time I had a really successful job. I have a beautiful family. I have incredible friends in San Diego, and we just never know like where life takes us. And I look back and I'm like, oh wow, like thank goodness everything happened for me. Because every single life lesson, every single obstacle has led me to where I am today. And I know that if you're in a moment right now where life feels tough, or you feel stuck and you feel like this moment actually feels forever, right? I just want you to know that like it's temporary, and that everything is happening for your highest good. So even if you can't see the light, I want you to do your very, very best to believe that there's so much light all around you, and that, again, that this is happening for you. And maybe in 6 months, maybe in a year, maybe you'll look back in 2 years and you'll be so thankful for all the things all the obstacles, all the challenges, because it's just added to your life. It's helped you to elevate your consciousness. It's helped you to elevate your soul. Maybe it's helped you to gain empathy, understanding, more wisdom. And so that is kind of my spiritual spiel. But my goal is that through this philosophy and through this understanding, that you are able to take something. And maybe that's a bird's eye perspective. Maybe that's assessing like where you're at. If you're at soul level 1, soul level 2, soul level 3, and asking yourself these questions of like, how can I operate so that like light is shining through me every day? Or how can I operate so that I understand that like life is actually happening for my highest good? So thank you guys so much for listening in. I so appreciate all the support. The outpour of support from family, from friends has been so helpful, so encouraging. And if this resonates with you, any of this, please like it, like send this to a family member, a friend that you think is needing a little extra love, support in their life. Thank you guys so, so much. And I will see you next week for episode number 5, where we're going to be talking about how to build your physical vessel. And this is actually a more lighthearted, super fun one. So I can't wait to talk a little bit more about that. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you so, so much. Mwah, mwah.